Horror films may not frighten you, and that's okay. However, rumors of cursed films have always existed, and have often caused viewers to quake in fear. It has long been told that entire productions have been cursed, even stretching as far back as Shakespeare's Hamlet. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, we're going to be counting down the top 5 cursed horror movies you should never watch. Let's jump in. In at 5, The Innkeepers, 2011.
You want to communicate with the spirits in this hotel?
This 2011 horror, directed by Ty West, follows two employees at a New England hotel who decide to investigate stories of hauntings and the paranormal. However, their curiosity awakens something far more sinister. As it goes, The Innkeepers was a pretty run-of-the-mill horror movie. However, it might ring a bell for you for a completely different reason. It now resides amongst the alleged cursed horror films in history. According to sources, this is in part due to Ty West making unfortunate mistakes during shooting, including housing the movie crew and himself in one of the most haunted hotels in Connecticut, the Yankee Peddler Inn, while they shot the film. History tells that the Yankee Peddler Inn is known for having ghostly apparitions and poltergeist activity. Not only that, but guests at the inn have reported having nightmarish dreams. The curse that followed the film was mostly based on ghosts, with them seemingly taking offense to having a film made about them. Actors who stayed on set also reported feeling weird cold spots, as well as seeing strange things including shattering light bulbs during shooting. In at 4, The Omen, 1976.
Damien, it's all for you.
20th Century Fox presents a film of psychological suspense.
Released back in 1976, this horror, directed by Richard Donner, follows American diplomat Robert as he adopts Damien following the death of his unborn child. A series of sinister events unfold, and Robert quickly comes to the conclusion that he may have adopted the Antichrist. To begin, the film was released on June 6, 1976, aka 666. Right off the bat, the film was daring the devil to get involved, with the first incident occurring when the special effects designer for the film was involved in a car accident, which left his assistant dead. Leading on from that, after actor Gregory Peck signed on to the film, his own son committed suicide. Peck would also go on to experience more upsetting and disturbing phenomenons when a bolt of lightning struck his plane as it was crossing the Atlantic, and a second bolt of lightning striking producer Mace Newfield's plane, with the latter setting the engine ablaze and almost resulting in it crashing. Animal attacks also occurred on set, with multiple actors and trainers receiving injuries. And guys, it doesn't end there. A group of people heading to set got into a car accident, and Richard Donner's hotel was bombed by the IRA during filming. So what do you guys think? Was Satan behind these unexplainable incidents? In at 3, The Exorcist, 1973.
There are no experts. You probably know as much about possession as most priests. Look, your daughter doesn't say she's a demon, she says she's the devil himself.
It's not hard to believe that one of the most terrifying and controversial supernatural horror movies in history would suffer some bizarre occurrences during production. Released back in 1973 and directed by William Friedkin, The Exorcist follows a young girl, Reagan, as she becomes possessed by a demon after playing with a Ouija board. To begin, the screening of The Exorcist kicked off by having a 16th century church across the street from the theatre get struck by lightning. Not only that, but during production of the film, the set caught on fire in the room that was supposed to be the family's home. Reagan's room was unexplainably untouched. This resulted in the shoot being delayed, but when they returned, the tragedies continued. Around 8 different deaths are connected with the film, including actors Valisky Malioros and Jack McGowan, who died shortly after post-production, which baffled many as both their characters also died in the film. Many injuries also occurred, even one involving Ellen Burstyn, who plays the mother of Reagan. Burstyn was seriously injured during one scene that actually made it into the film. At one point, Burstyn gets thrown back into the wall. However, her harness broke, resulting in her colliding at full speed, and the blood-curdling scream you hear is actually real. Linda Blair, who played Reagan, also suffered when she was thrown off the bed by an unseen force. And finally, the voice of the demonic entity we see in the film, Mercedes McCambridge, was the tragic victim of a domestic violence killing shortly after the film was released. Coming in at number 2, Poltergeist, 1982.
I've never sensed anything like it. That thing is in there with my baby!
Poltergeist has gone down as one of the most notoriously unlucky films in history, and for a good reason. Released in 1982, Poltergeist follows the strange and creepy happenings that befall an average California family, as ghosts attempt to communicate with them through the television, even sucking in their youngest daughter, Carol Ann. Now, there are many theories as to why Poltergeist attracted such negative energy, many concluding that it's because Spielberg opted to use real human skeletons as props without telling the actors. Gross. Not only that, but Dominique Dunne, who played Dana Freeman, died during production at the age of 23. She was murdered by an abusive ex-boyfriend who choked her into a coma, which she never awoke from. Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann, died at just 12 years old. It was sudden, with the young girl being linked to an undetected illness. It doesn't stop there either. A mechanical clown that was used actually tried to strangle actor Oliver Robbins. He was choked so hard by the clown that he actually had marks on his neck following the incident. Not only that, but James Caan, who wrote the novelization of the movie, reported seeing some truly creepy stuff. He stated that lightning struck the buildings that he was writing in, noting, "The facing on the air conditioning unit blew off, flew across the room and hit me in the back. After about half a minute or a minute, the lights flickered and went on, and then all the video games in the room started playing themselves." And finally, in at number 1, Antrim, the deadliest film ever made, 1988/2018. The film has had a long and weird history, with it being produced back in the 1970s by brothers documenting an occult ritual before disappearing and resurfacing back in 1988. After a screening at a film festival in Budapest, the theatres burned to the ground, resulting in several of the event's programmers dying under mysterious circumstances. Moving on from that, a couple of years later, a riot erupted in a theatre in San Francisco that was screening Antrim, during which time, the only physical copy of the film went missing. Now, once again, the film has emerged, with it making the rounds at film festivals last year. Now, I may be cheating by putting this film as number 1, as it was recently revealed that the film itself is a mockumentary. However, the filmmakers have openly stated that they believe the film has blurred the lines between fiction and reality by encouraging people to add to its mythology. Executive producer Eric 13 was quoted as saying, "Everywhere I went, people were talking about this secret film, Antrim, filmmakers passing it around. You'd hear that it was from the 70s, or that it was part documentary, or that it had cursed footage spliced into it. One person literally dared me to watch it, which I frankly scoffed at. Still, I had to know what the film really was, and once I saw it, the feelings wouldn't leave. The allure of something you weren't supposed to watch." Chilling. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any cursed horror movies that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. Until next time, see you later.